And once again, congratulations. You are one of those people who are becoming more and more common, who watch a video first and then give an opinion in the form of a comment, which I always appreciate, and not just judge the thumbnail with the attitude, that's clickbait. How can he talk about the 16th of March? And what is supposed to happen then? And does he have a crystal ball? No, he doesn't. However, I will even give you several reasons why we will soon enter an overheated area. And why March 16th can be a key moment here. So I would say let's not waste any time. Oh, wait, I also have a trading setup for you at the end. So in that regard, everything is covered. Let's get started. See you after the intro. Now new, Uptrend VP Trading. Your opportunity to copy the signals of 2 professional traders for free. They managed to grow an account from 4,000 to 30,000 within 2 months. The results in the group are also impressive. All you need for this is a deposit of $100 into your BingX account. You can find all further information below in the description. Let's quickly start with the overall view and note that the altcoins are slowly fighting their way back. Didn't we hear just a few days ago? Yes, altcoins are dead. AI tokens are dead. So, if we take a look here, for example, Virtual is doing well again. Also, Tau, didn't someone recently write about it? Yes, Tau, complete junk, nobody needs it. Fetch.ai is also back in action, even if we look at the weekly view now. By the way, Tau is still quite large there. On the move. This project, I briefly talked about it yesterday. If you're interested, feel free to click in here. BaraChain, yes, I heard about that already in the middle of last year. I wouldn't have thought they would start off so spectacularly. But, well, as I said, what can be noted here is that things are going well again in the right direction. Also Solana, which fell completely out of favor a few days ago due to the whole scandal around the meme coins and what's currently happening with the Argentine president. By the way, I made a separate video about that. Feel free to click in here. However, it can be said that, for example, the DEX on Solana Radium has also recovered quite well. The stat states, as has the Solana chart itself. But that's not what this video is about right now. By the way, I'll be covering the trading setup at the very end, the current lineup of Bitcoin, Solana, XRP, and so on. If I should keep incorporating that more deeply, feel free to write it in the comments. Also, if you say I have absolutely no interest in it, I'm not into trading, leave me alone with it, you can write that too. In any case, I want to start by giving a big thank you, because we have over 2,000 views even on yesterday's video. I know these are tough times, I don't want to go into it any deeper. 152 likes, can we reach 200 today? Yeah, we can do it. No, seriously, it would be cool because you support it and my work, my hours of research make this video, today's video, really explode and go viral. Because it stimulates the algorithm and the whole thing is free for you. So let's all just quickly leave a like together now. And of course, feel free to write a comment as well. And if this might be your first video and you're wondering, the question arises, and what is this guy actually doing? I deliver the most important crypto news to you daily without hype. Transparent, neutral, and honest. That's probably the most important thing. And also a trading setup that might bring you one or another dollar. So if you're interested, feel free to subscribe for free, activate the bell so you don't miss any important information. And now let's get started. As promised, today I will provide you with several theories on how we enter an overheated area of Bitcoin. Because we have already noticed that the market makers are playing their wild games of ups and downs and liquidating retailers. And it continues like this all the time. Possibly until eventually the last frustrated retailer has left the sinking ship, I was just about to say. At least no longer believes in it. And then maybe it continues. Or something significant happens, something that no one expected, and suddenly crypto completely escalates, which first impacts Bitcoin and then logically also all altcoins. By the way, at this point, just a question to the group. Elections are coming up, and I don't want to create a political debacle here. However, that's also the topic. Bitcoin reserves, crypto reserves are becoming more of a topic there as well. If you're interested in me delving deeper into that, specifically the German election campaign, then I'd be happy to do that. And I'll provide you with a video tomorrow where I discuss which party currently shows interest or disinterest in crypto. But that's just a side note. So as I said, feel free to write in the comments what you think about it. We are now entering the political faction, specifically regarding gold. You might have noticed Musk has expressed his critical opinion on this, along the lines of Fort Knox and the gold that we all hope is there. What if it's not there? He has stated this multiple times on Twitter, or rather, on X, and subsequently, Trump also commented on it during a flight on Air Force One. And he said, yes, we'll do that. We'll check the gold. The US Treasury Secretary, he can't really understand all this fuss at the moment because there are annual audits and the gold, it is in its place. To which Trump only responded, we will open the doors, we will inspect Fort Knox. And he also added, I don't want to open it. And the cabinets are empty. But now the big question arises, isn't that perhaps even the purpose? So, isn't he perhaps even hoping that the cabinets are really empty, not in knee in the extreme case, or at least that the stocks don't match what is thought, what is stored on site? Because here I will briefly touch on two theories that I also shared on X today. So if you always want to stay up to date and not miss any important information, and not like in the video where I summarize everything in one day, but rather in real time, then I can give you the tip to follow me on Twitter. Check the description, there's the link, or simply search for Uptrend Info. In any case, I have now worked out two variants, both of which should fundamentally be positive for crypto, or in the first step, for Bitcoin. Let's start with variant number one. This is initially the positive factor, as the gold is normally present, the annual audits are completely correct, everything is great. However, the fact is, the USA has definitely made some significant profits here. Now, of course, the price has dropped a bit. Yesterday, we were just below the new all-time high. So, we can realistically assume that we are talking about billions of dollars in profit here. Now, this capital could, of course, be used excellently to build up Bitcoin reserves and then speculate on even higher profits. Because clearly, when gold is just below the all-time high, logically, it can always go further and it could ever higher. All-time highs are created. But let's be realistic, the chance of realizing even more profits through Bitcoin now sounds tempting already. I might be a bit biased, but I consider that more realistic. Option number two, and that could become a fiasco. And possibly also the plan that Trump and Musk are more likely pursuing, or rather hoping for. Trump, as we all know, fundamentally wants a weak dollar. However, with all these tariffs, he has rather achieved the opposite. I recently made a video about this. Feel free to click here. In any case, this gold should not exist. Friends, that would be an absolute fiasco which would initially have a rapid impact on the dollar. So we are talking about a definite collapse of the dollar here. And if you take a look at this, yes, the dollar is currently weakening a bit again, but I just want to point out something I've talked about before. A weak dollar is, historically speaking, good for Bitcoin. You can see this right here if we go back. And please take a look at let's go all the way back here. The dollar has rapidly decreased, and as a result, Bitcoin has correspondingly skyrocketed. Just a fiasco, like gold is gone, we don't know where it is. That would naturally be a pretty radical collapse of the dollar. So we're not talking about normal movements like this. That would probably be more of a turning point. So from that perspective, one could consider, because then risk assets would be significantly more in focus again. So that would mean for gold, a substantial increase, but also conversely for Bitcoin and others. Let's move on to the next possibility of how Trump can flood the markets with money. Because as we already noted yesterday, it's also stated in the Fed's report, we are quite cautious about what happens with interest rate cuts and so on. Some are already talking again about potential interest rate hikes. Now, Trump somehow needs another way. Why? For more money to flow into the market. And there is, for example, the Treasury General Accountant. What is that now? Well, I already talked about it in a previous video. I won't go into too much detail. feel free to watch the video on that in any case. In plain English, it's the piggy bank of the US government. That would be a good way to put it. And if you look at it historically, what happened here and how money was sometimes flooded into the market, which initially benefits the stock market, but then logically also eventually ends up with Bitcoin and the like. And if you compare the time horizons here, then quite a bit has happened with Bitcoin as well. Now, logically, some are speculating here, okay, we have a sideways movement and nothing much is really happening right now, that Trump might just press the button and say, yep, let's flood the market with money. Additionally, we also noted yesterday that Trump is considering returning 20% of Dodge's savings to the US population. This should also be positive for the market because US households will have more capital. When they have more capital, they are also more willing to take risks. But how do I now get to the 12th March? You can see it here. Because on this day, the inflation figures will be announced. And before the hate starts again in the comments, folks, I will never adorn myself with borrowed plumes. In my opinion, Krypto has made a very cool and detailed video about this. Feel free to check out his channel. I won't go into it that deeply because I've already mentioned many other points in advance. And I also want to provide you with the trading setup. Otherwise, it will just be too long. The fact is, we are talking about a planned 3% here. What could really give the market a boost now is, as seen in this analysis, that the potential real inflation is significantly lower. So please remember, where the forecast deviated by 0.1 the last time, and what kind of negative impact that had on the market. Now we are talking about a difference, let's exaggerate a bit, of almost 1%. What do you think would happen then? And thus, there are now definitely several factors that could indicate a breakout. Whether it's politically motivated, where one might critically question one thing or another, as is the case with Fort Knox. But no one really knows when this inspection will actually take place. Then, on the other hand, we clearly have a piggy bank that could somehow dispense money. No idea how Trump alone has access to that either. But the thing with inflation, that's a topic we will learn about in March. And if we should have such a drastic deviation here, then it could really get wild. At this point, I'm just curious. Feel free to write in the comments what you think about it, also about the other factors, and whether there might really be a breakout soon. Now briefly about the trading setup in the channel that I manage externally and show you completely transparently. Again, if you're more interested in this, if I should delve deeper into the topic of trading, then feel free to write it in the comments. Of course, also if it's different. I still have some limit orders open here. Let's wait and see when and how they will be picked up. Let's first take a quick look at the Bitcoin chart right now in the 4-hour view. So we still see, of course, we are trapped in this sideways phase. It doesn't go further down than basically below this level, around 94,133. We'll take another look at the heat map shortly. Yes, it might look like something could come up down there again, but let's see. What looks interesting volume-wise, we have the maximum right here now. However, Bitcoin is bravely pushing through here, and here it is getting a bit thinner right now. So that means corresponding impulses that might come could indeed lead us to jump upwards here. And then we would have here quite an interesting volume block, right? That means we would definitely be above the 100K mark, yes. And then it's time to wait and see how everything develops further. I'll just give the timing now. As I said, throughout the day, I might provide 1 or 2 updates in the Uptrend Trading Group on Telegram. Or also share on X. So let's just see what happens throughout the day, even when the markets have opened. A quick look at the heat map. That doesn't look entirely uninteresting either. So liquidity is being snacked on quite well here. The market makers are beautifully picking everything up here. That's really great. And you can also see there's a larger block at the top. It gets a bit thin there initially. But there's still quite a lot at the bottom. Now let's look a bit further out. Let's switch to the 2-week view. What awaits us there? Yes. So it does look like liquidity can be nicely picked up at the top. We must not forget it's Friday. This means on the weekend, traditional markets are closed and the market makers can really play their game. A quick look at Ethereum again, it doesn't look bad here either. So we had this volume block, then it continued upwards, and we are currently in this volume block. Simultaneously also on the Fibonacci line. So let's wait and see if there is a rejection or if it continues. In terms of volume, the most is up here. And thus, this area here could become quite interesting. Of course, as always, the news will decide here as well. XRP. However, we now see that this volume area was rejected downwards. Now it has fought its way up a bit again, but not even tested anymore. And also in terms of volume, it seems that we are more likely to move down into this range again. I also have a limit order there. I'm being completely honest. So purely from a trading perspective, this is worth its weight in gold. And it absolutely makes sense for the prices to go down again. For every hodler, this is not exactly ideal right now. Mega. Yes, and looking at the whole thing from a broader perspective again, you can see it here on the green line. We are still in a downtrend. Now, of course, we have to wait and see. So clearly, the movements have become less frequent. And if we now draw this here, draw it, well, then it could naturally lead to this area down here being tested again. And then the big question remains, will it go down or up? Will we break out upwards? Yes. The saying, what is dead may never die, can be applied here because since this strong drop, I'll show you this here, at least on the 1 hour view, we can clearly speak of an uptrend. We were briefly in this volume area now. Yes, down here, there's still quite a bit. However, most of it is indeed up here. That means now we just have to wait and see. Over the course of the day, will the chart continue to crawl upwards? Might it even enter this area here? Or will there be another pullback? We will see. However, what you can see right now is already showing through. Looks bullish. That's it for today. I am very curious. Do you support the theory that March will really take off, or do you say it's too late? No, that's it. Or have you perhaps already sold everything? Otherwise, if you liked the video, I know these are tough times, just to mention again. It would still be cool if you support my work and this video as long as it helped you, and just leave a free like. And finally, I can give you the tip. I specifically talked about what was going on with Libra, the meme coin with the Argentine president. Was he perhaps bought? Check out all the details in this video, briefly and concisely summarized. We'll see each other tomorrow in the next update. Until then, all the best. Bye.